welcome to the Football Kit with LiveDuel. I've got three esteemed guests with me, and the producers have definitely set me up for this one. I have got Connor, and Curtis. So this isn't going to go wrong at all. But Curtis, just to avoid the confusion, how are you, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. Buzzing. Can't wait to chat nonsense with these two very, very well knowledgeable blokes.
There we go. And let me try this for the first time. I'm going to try and address you like this throughout the show just to avoid it. But United, Connor, how are you?
I like that. No, yeah, I'm fine. I mean, just literally got in the door, but still feeling good.
We are here.
We are here.
Spurs, Connor, or Connor Spurs, first time on the show. How are you, my friend? Introduce yourself if you wish.
Oh, I'm spiffing. It's great. On time, unlike others.
I was here first, man. Nice and early.
Ready to go. Ready to get on.
Right, love it. 4 games into the Premier League season then, and the transfer window was officially closed, which is where we're going to start. The show today is going to be very transfer window heavy. We're going to talk the good, the bad, and the ugly, all about the summer transfer window. And we're going to reevaluate our top 4 and bottom 3. Now, that transfer window's closed. No excuses. No, I didn't know he was going to make this move. No, I didn't know they were going to bring this guy in. It's going to be final. Top 4, bottom 3, and then a couple of bit of question and answering as we go, football, tennis, and a little bit of topical conversation about the week as well. So let's get started. Top 4 and bottom 3. Actually, no, we're starting with the transfers. We are going to head on to Chelsea, Spurs, and United. What you think's good, what you wish happened, whether you're happy, whether you're not happy. But before we do that, let's go Spurs, Connor, first of all.
Okay.
Talk to me about your favourite transfer for Spurs this summer, and let's move into whether you think it's been a good summer, bad summer. Have you missed on anything at all? Are you worried?
I think it's been a great summer. Finally, it's what we needed. A manager that kind of knows what he wants to do, instead of years and years of just let's spend all this money on half-pot defenders and to do 7 at the back every single week. We've built in a squad that is attacking and can actually go at teams. Maddison is the main key for that. And he's just... I said it to begin with, and I'm sticking with it. Maddison will be signing of the season in the Premier League.
You know what? I don't disagree with that. I actually put out a video a little while ago saying I think Maddison was the best signing in the summer. I did put Onana second if you're watching and you're a United fan. I'm kind of biased, but you have to give Maddison his flowers. And he has started the season very well. I've got a question for you, though. Depth. I mean, you saw at the weekend that United, at the last 10 minutes against Arsenal, were down to our 5th and 6th choice centre-backs. Looking at the Spurs squad, I know you haven't got Europe this year, which might help. Who are your 5th and 6th choice centre-backs? Now, are you worried about that depth in centre-mid and centre-back?
So we recently, even after the deadline day, Davinson Sanchez has gone to Galatasaray.
Mm-hmm.
So our 5th and 6th choice centre-backs will be Ashley Phillips, who we recently got from Blackburn. And unfortunately, he's actually higher up the pecking order, but Eric Dyer is still there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just not really what we want. I would literally give it him to any single club in the world. Just get him out. He was good when he played as a 6, and then Mourinho started playing him as a centre half, and then it just went downhill from there. So it's either we play Dyer, who is got experience in the Premier League, but not great experience, or we play teenagers.
No, that's fair enough. I mean, when I was looking at the Spurs squad, that was kind of the idea that I had. I mean, if you avoid injuries, I think you're going to have a very good season. It's just when those injuries occur, so reliant, especially in that and system as well, on the players like Basuma. What happens if he gets injured? One of your centre backs. What happens if they go out? I do think it's a little bit thin, but without Europe, you might get away with it. But you can't fix everything in one summer anyway. I do think it, like you said, has been a brilliant transfer window. Curtis, we haven't got 4 hours to go through the Chelsea transfer window. Talk to me, man. What are you feeling?
I mean, it was a long summer, wasn't it? I don't think a day passed where we didn't either sell or buy someone, or at least there was links of us buying or selling someone. Like it was a crazy summer, as the past 3 windows have been. I mean, in terms of the longevity of what we've done this summer and over the season, what would be our best signing? For what we needed, I know he hasn't had the best of starts, but you're probably looking at Caicedo being the signing we needed. It's the signing that gives Enzo a bit more freedom. It's a signing that we did need. We needed a 6 because obviously Enzo played there last year, and I think from what I've seen so far and what people who've seen more of him before he was at Chelsea have said, he has got a good creative side to him, which we didn't see last year because he was, or A, our team was shite, and B, he was playing so deep that he had no creativity expression at all. He couldn't do anything. So I think going forward, that'll be probably the signing that we needed the most and will be the most important. Obviously, it was probably the most covered transfer saga of the summer. But yeah, I think again overall it was a pretty wild window. I think it was 14 outgoings, 13 or 14 coming in. So a lot's changed. But yeah, there's a few that I think will do well. A few that I'm not sold on yet, but time will tell, I guess.
I've got a question. You watch Chelsea a hell of a lot more than I do.
Yeah.
You've invested heavy in Sterling, in Cole Palmer, in Mudryk, but you don't play with wingers. Where has this idea come from? And do you think you need to change away from that wing-back system? Are you happy with it? Do you understand why he plays it? Because I don't.
Tell you what, it's very weird. I did a video on this the other day. In pre-season, we literally played a flat-back 4, a 4-2-3-1, and it worked really well. That system was purely based around Nkunku in the 10 role, and he was very, very good. And again, it's no excuses because I know he's got injured. I'm not saying if he was playing now, we'd be unbeaten. However, for whatever reason, him getting injured might be the reason, but then Poch has decided to play I would say a back 5. However, I saw some comments from Thiago Silva. He nibbled at a comment on Twitter or Instagram or something, where he said, if you actually look at our system, we are playing a back 4, which means he's playing a back 4 with Colwell at left back, and he's playing Chilwell as a winger, which is pretty mental considering we spent this much money on Mudryk, on Madueke. We've got a handful of wingers, yet he wants to play Ben Chilwell at left wing, which is a bit baffling. Again, Poch knows a lot more about football than I do. However, that doesn't make much sense.
Yeah, I hear you. When I was looking at it, I thought, is he trying to shoehorn in and make sure that Thiago Silva can play in a back 3 because maybe he thinks he's important to the team? Maybe he just loves Chilwell in that left wing back role, and that's why he's going with it. It's just with Chelsea are building a project, right? Loads of young players coming in, so that idea must have come from Poch at some point. As this is how I want to go. I just don't understand the importance of signing these wingers and then just playing without wingers. It's bizarre.
Yeah, it's pretty rogue. Like you said, we're signing these wingers. There has to be a plan. And if it's going to be a back 4, then I think it works because then you can play a 4-3-3, you can play a 4-2-3-1. Those formations have the wingers behind the strikers or alongside the strikers. However, a back 5, obviously a back 5 suits Chilwell and James well. I would think Reece James, I mean, if that man wasn't made out of polystyrene, it would help. Like he's so influential for our team, and I don't think rival fans realise enough how much our play goes through him. I know he's a right back, and it sounds weird. However, so many of our attacks go through him. Like he's so influential in our team. So him being out for whatever it's been already, like 3 weeks, and then another 3 weeks. I don't know. It's a weird one. I don't know what formation he wants to play. I don't even know what formation he's going to play. But we've got a lot of players to try and keep happy, so I don't envy him at all.
Look, it's early doors. I think Poch is a great manager at building long-term projects, and you see it at Spurs. I don't think he's the wrong man for the job by any stretch. It was just extremely confusing when you look at the signings and then how Chelsea have started their first 4 games. Got a question at the bottom. I'll read it out, and I suppose it's open the floor to everyone really. But do you actually think Jackson could be Chelsea's main goal scoring threat for the future?
I guess I'll start. I do like him. I really like him. I think his hold-up play is very good. I think his link-up play with the wingers and with the midfield has been very good. I know he missed a sitter on the weekend from that Sterling cutback. He put it over from about 3 yards out. Yeah. I feel like if that goes in, he scored in back-to-back Prem games, and the momentum is still there. It's a tough one. You, as a striker, again, coming from a foreign league, it takes a world-class striker to adapt straight away from another league into the Prem because it's faster, it's harder, it's stronger. I can right now. I don't think he would be a world-class striker for us, and I think we might go out and buy Tony in January, or at least try to. And that's not to write Jackson off, That's just, I think we need someone else who's going to contribute goals. And I don't know if he's a 20-25 goal striker per season.
Imagine if he had two wingers to help him out. I'm just saying.
It would help, wouldn't it? It would help.
Yeah, mad. United, Connor, have you watched much of Chelsea?
Much of Chelsea. I only watched match of the day for the Forest game. That was another thing about Chelsea is I think they can completely. I know they didn't even spend that much on Sanchez. I still think they got robbed, but I don't think he's a very good goalkeeper. I'm just saying that Alanga goal. I know it's not his fault, and you can't really blame the keeper for that. Anyone else feel like it just went in slow motion?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not sold on Sanchez. I'm not. Like, when we signed him, it was like, we haven't really upgraded from Kepa, personally. It was a weird one. You've loaned him to Madrid and signed a guy who's okay.
He weren't even starting for Brighton. That's why I was a bit confused. Obviously, Steele was starting at the end of last season. But I think Jackson will be a good... I think people obviously quick to judge. That's just how football is these days. But I feel like he can be that guy who can score, 15, 20 goals a season in the Premier League. I don't even hate their signings, I don't know. There just seems to be a bit of a losing culture around Chelsea at the minute. And I think until that culture changes, it's going to be a bit ropey. But I don't know how that culture changes. That's the problem. So we'll just see what happens with them.
Fair enough. Connor, our team, our lot. I mean, Reguilon and Amrabat on the deadline day. Does that give you any hope? I mean, forget that sentence. What was your opinion of the transfer window before a ball was kicked? Has it changed? And what is it now?
So just go through a few of them quickly. Onana, I think, is an upgrade from De Gea. I wasn't a big De Gea hater, but I think Onana, so much better with his feet, just helps us a lot more than that. With Amrabat, I think he'll be a good player, but obviously we have nothing to base that on yet because we haven't seen him put on a Man United shirt yet. The same with Reguilon. I was a bit annoyed with Reguilon not starting against Arsenal, but I know throughout the week it would have been preparation for the Arsenal game, and Dalot would have been the one who was prepped for that game. Either way, Dalot's not a left back, and you've signed a left back in time to play him, play him in the game. But he's obviously just backup anyway because our whole back line is apparently Mason Mount. I so far has not filled me with confidence after that Spurs game a few weeks ago. Can he come good? Of course he can come good. Will he come good? I am a bit pessimistic about Mason Mount, to be completely honest. And with Haaland, he looked good when he came on. He only got to see 15 minutes, but he looked like a handful. But anything better than Martial. So, I'd rate the window about a 7 out of 10. I think it could have been a lot better.
Yeah, so obviously FFP restrictions play a part. For myself, I think I'm okay with Dalot at left back, really. He can use both feet, which helps. I think one thing that's quite underrated with inverted fullbacks is they set up really well against inverted wingers as well, because just naturally your body shape goes inside, which is where they want to go. So I think that actually helped him deal. He did very well against Saka, as noted by pretty much everyone online. So I don't mind it. A more traditional left back is obviously what Ten Hag prefers. He likes his left-footed centre back and his left-footed left back. So I understand the sign-in. Reguilon's here for 3 months. Luke Shaw's out for 10 weeks, 2-week recovery time. It's just like for like replacement up to this point. So I'm okay with the sign-in. Amrabat's the one I'm looking forward to big time. I mean, it was enforced, but Mason Mount coming out the side and Eriksen coming in, it just seemed to fix our solution straight away. I think the game against Spurs looks so much different if we set up against Spurs like we did against Arsenal away. But I mean, that's just the hearsay, isn't it? Like, I can't actually put my hat on it and just hang it and just say we would have got 3 points or we would have got a draw, because I suppose we're very good that day and ultimately deserved the 3 points. But how Mason Mount now comes back in, I don't think it's anything to do with him, by the way. He's got a certain profile and he plays a certain way, very tenacious. He likes getting tidy on the ball. He likes playing further up the pitch. So does Bruno. It's just weird to me. I don't know how you fit them both in without having an obvious inverted defender like a John Stones, like a Zinchenko, like a Ben White does it sometimes. Partey does it for Arsenal, those types of players. We just actively don't do that. So I don't know how we fit Mason Mount in. That's nothing against him as a player. I just don't understand the need for him. But yeah, I've watched a lot of Højlund. I was looking forward to him starting. There's just more to come from that. He does bully defend. Everyone was happy about him bullying defenders and just knocking the ball off. He does that every single week, so we're going to see more of it. Before we move on to the next subject, best transfer window and worst transfer window in the Premier League. We'll go around the room. I'm going to go in the same order again. Connor?
Best transfer window? you've got. I think it's not going to look that way now, but I'm going to say Liverpool have had the best one. They've got rid of some deadwood, and they've completely revamped their midfield. So I feel like they can finally get back into the areas that they want to be. They won't win the league, obviously, but I feel like top 4, where they want to go. The worst.
Do you want me to come back to you on the worst? Because I think everyone's going to struggle on the worst. I've got an answer for mine, but I'll flip back around.
First for everyone.
Okay, go on, Curtis.
It's going to pain me to say, but I think purely because of Maddison, I think Spurs have had the best. I think Adoji as well. The keeper looks solid. I think they've made a few good signings, and I think they'll be pushing top 4, which I didn't think I'd be saying that at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, fair.
So yeah, I'm going to go Spurs.
Connor, over Connor. I knew this was going to happen. United, Connor.
It depends, man. I probably would have gone Arsenal, but obviously it's not their fault that Timber got injured. So the only other ones that rival them probably is Spurs. Arsenal, Spurs, probably. I think Bournemouth had an underrated one. If we're talking about lower teams, but I'll go with Arsenal just to be slightly different because it wasn't their fault. Timber.
But they did sign Havertz, so that's an automatic no.
Do you know the thing with Havertz, right? Is obviously Arteta's looked at him and he's seen something in him, right? That's why he signed him. But there's also an arrogance amongst any single manager, really. Like they'll look at a player and think, "He's my guy. Watch this." They couldn't make it work, but watch me make it work. Now, my worry for that is like players like Fabio Vieira, who Arteta also bought, by the way. I think just through the sheer arrogance and probably stubbornness of Arteta, I think he's going to persist with it until it works, or the complete opposite, and it doesn't work. So it'd be interesting to see how long term that pans out. Mine was Arsenal, by the way. Very similar reasons. Spurs, kind of worst.
Worst. I'm going to go Newcastle, actually.
Okay, talk.
I feel they've made some good signings on paper, but to only win 1 in 4 is awful. Like they lost 5 games last season in the Premier League, and they've lost 3 already. So in terms of adaptability and actually progressing with the squad, I feel like they've done the least with the signings that they've made.
Okay. I don't hate it. I mean, the fixtures at the start of the season were horrible. There's a reason why Kieran Trippier wasn't in everybody's FPL team, but the run of their fixtures coming up soon is a lot more favourable. I think you're going to see it develop more. But as with 4 games in and you're only going on what you saw, I don't hate the shout at all. Curtis?
I'm going to go for Wolves. I think they obviously sold Núñez to City. Who did they sell to Barca? Who went to Saudi? Sorry, Neves. Neves is gone. Their gaffer left. Like I think, don't get me wrong. When we saw them play United, they actually did look quite good. But I feel like in terms of what they've actually done, players in, players out, it just doesn't look great, does it?
Fair, Connor. Man United, Connor.
Are we going off like outgoings as well?
Yeah, it's a transfer window. That's outgoings, that's incoming. That's where, I mean, for example, if you fancied, I don't know, Fulham to be top half and now you don't, like maybe that would have a factor, whatever. Yeah,
because if we were just doing signings, I would have just gone with Palace because they've got the same squad for the 15th year running. So, if we're doing outgoings as well, it is Wolves because, as you said, manager, Neves, Jimenez, Traore, list goes on. They've just lost everybody, and I don't think they've replaced them adequately enough to stay up. It was so obvious last season they needed a out-and-out striker who could score goals. I think they scored the least goals in the league last year. They just didn't get that. They just didn't get someone who can just score the goals that they need to stay up. So I think they're in big trouble.
That's fair. mine was Wolves as well. So we got 3 Wolves, 1 Newcastle. I understand the Newcastle shout early doors. I really do. Okay, next round. It's the Golden Boot round where we ask 5 questions with 9 possible answers. You have got 2 minutes. 2 minutes to answer them all. If you can get up on the screen, please, producer, the first candidate, or to run the gauntlet if you like.
Who's the first candidate?
Me.
Okay.
So what are these? Say it again. What are the 9? What are the 9 points?
So there's 9 possible answers. It'll make more sense when you hear the questions. But basically, there's one question with more than 1 point available. The idea behind this is obviously there's time restraints, right? So you've got to think about how much time you want to spend on each question. Here's the rules. Here's the rules. You are allowed to pass on any question that you like. If you pass on a question, I will come back to it if there is time left. If you answer it and you get it wrong, we ain't coming back. And also if there's an answer with more than one potential answer and you answer it and you get it wrong, that's still a guess. We're not just chucking names out of a hat and then getting them right. You're only allowed whatever the question allows you to, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Have you stiffed me with these questions?
Am I? No, I think I was quite kind to all of you. The first 3 questions I think are very gettable for all 3 of you, but it's more about how much time you spend on getting them and stuff like that.
Do they get harder as we go on?
The last 2 are harder than the first 3, yeah.
All right, cool. Let's do this. Up the Chelsea.
Up the Chelsea. Okay, who was doing the timer for Curtis?
I mean, I can just time myself if you want me to.
But you're going to be concentrating rather than saying time. So if anyone else can.
All right, Connor's getting the laptop out.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get the left.
All right, you give me a countdown of the 3, 2, 1, and then Curtis, the floor is yours, my friend.
Oh, shit.
See, this is the problem with recording on your phone. All right.
Oh, I got criticism last time I did this round, by the way, because I asked the questions too slow. So I'm gonna like rap God to you a little bit.
Let's do this.
You've got 2 minutes.
Yeah, you got 2 minutes. Yeah, it's normally 90 seconds, but when I looked at the questions, I thought I'll give you an extra 30.
All right.
2 minutes is a long time.
2, 1, go.
Who was the highest capped Chelsea player for England?
John Terry.
Ashley Cole. Who plays their home games at Home Park?
Plymouth Argyle.
Correct. Name 5 Chelsea number 2s.
Number 2s.
As in shirt number 2s.
Ivanovic.
Yep.
Number 2s. Fuck, who won number 2?
Who's got it now?
Who has got it now?
We can pass and go back.
Yeah, pass. I'll come back to that.
Which game in the Premier League this weekend had 5 goals in the second half?
5 goals in the second half. Spurs Burnley?
Close. No, that was 4. It was Palace Wolves. Which team stayed up last season despite being bottom of the table on Christmas Day?
Oh, God, Dan, I've got to think so hard about these. Who was bottom on Christmas Day last year but stayed up? Fuck, who was bottom last year?
Do you want to do number 2s again?
Was it Forest?
No, Wolves. Chelsea number 5s. Chelsea number 5s. You got 1. Ivanovic.
Number 2s, you mean?
No, number 2s, yeah. 5 Chelsea number 2s, sorry.
Who wears number 2 for Chelsea right now? Someone tell me.
I don't have a clue.
Honestly, my head has gone blank. Who wears...
I'll give you a hint. He's a new signing.
Oh, is it Disasi?
Yep, 2. Who wore it before him?
Who wore it before him? Number 2. Oh, God.
You're going to hate yourself when I start listening.
I'm gonna hate myself so bad. I'm just trying to think of right backs, but it's probably not the best way to go about it. Oh, jeez.
I've only got 1 more, to be fair. I can't think of any of this.
How many? What's the time?
I've got 5 seconds.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
Head's gone, mate. Head's gone.
So you got Plymouth Argyle 1 point. You got Ivanovic and Disasi for 2 points. It was Palace Wolves and then Wolves. So 3 points out of 9.
That's so bad.
You're
tell
betting
me,
this.
Tell me the number 2s then.
Antonio Rudiger.
That's the one.
Again, my head just went straight to right backs, and that was probably the really bad decision.
Glenn Johnson.
Yeah, Glenge.
That's too.
It's not Eto, no. There's a couple of others as well. They were a bit right. It's basically got what in my head was like 4 fairly obvious ones, and then it gets a little bit harder. It's going to be similar for the other 2 as well. But you could have got Dan Procescu, Steve Clark, Frank Sinclair. There's a few.
Back in the day, yeah. Fair play.
Yeah.
I'm so shit at numbers.
Before Abramovich, so you wouldn't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't know, mate. Wouldn't the Chelsea
All right, then on to the next part of the show. We're going to be talking about our top 4 and bottom 3. So transfer window's closed. Like I said at the start, there is absolutely no excuses this time. I want 7 out of 7 from everybody. Curtis, we'll start with you this time. Have you got any nailed? Let's start with top 4. Have you got any nailed ons there, 100% in the top 4, and then where are the discussion points?
I mean, surely we've all got City and Arsenal to be at least top 4. Like City City are as nailed on could be. And I think Arsenal will be as strong, if not stronger, than last season. So again, I can't see them missing out. The other two are up for grabs. I think at the beginning of the season, I'd have said that we had a chance, but as we've been playing at the moment, I wouldn't say we're going to get top 4.
Fair.
I think Liverpool have a very good chance. I think they've started well, and I think they're only going to get better. Does kind of depend on the whole Salah situation, whether he does go to Saudi, which I don't think he will, unless they throw this massive cash offer in that's being talked about. So I think Liverpool will be in there. And then the fourth one, again, is really up for grabs. Like I said, I don't think beginning of the season I'd have said Spurs. But I think if you'd have asked me right now who's going to finish higher out of Spurs or United, I'm going to say Spurs.
No shouts for Newcastle?
No, I don't think so. I think Europe will take its toll on them, and I think, like Spurs, Connor said, they didn't have the best transfer window. They made a few good signs. I think Lewis Hall will do well for them. I rate him at Chelsea. Didn't want us to sell him. I don't think Newcastle. I think they miss out by a little while. I think Brighton will finish ahead of Newcastle this year. Who else have we got? Apart from Chelsea, I think Chelsea and United will miss out with Newcastle. I think City first, Arsenal second, Liverpool third, Spurs fourth.
Fair enough. Connor, do we disagree?
Which one?
How many times?
Got in.
This is all their fault, man.
Should we just stick it with Shahal and JD?
It's the producer's fault, bro.
Mr. Shahal.
I don't mind doing just JD.
You can say like Connor with an A because they're spelled different.
Just say Connor and JD. That works.
Connor and JD. Okay, cool.
I'm
Connor.
okay with that.
All right, sound. City top. Going to walk it again, I think. Go Liverpool second. I think Liverpool are a lot better than they were last season. I think they've had a decent transfer window, even though some people weren't giving them credit for that.
Yeah.
I think they'll be okay. And then I think the other spaces are completely up for grabs, although I do think Arsenal are slightly stronger than all the other contenders for top 4. So I'll put Arsenal third. And then I think it's like a massive race between Spurs, United, Brighton, Newcastle. Yeah, probably them 4.
Give me a nailed on.
I don't think
throw the dart at the board and tell me where it lands on.
Come on, Connor, grab your bullets.
I'm thinking Spurs or Brighton. I'm not gonna lie. I think Brighton are really, really much better than a lot of people. I think they're ready to make that leap. You know what? So I'm gonna go with Brighton. Try and get the clip. I'll go with Brighton. Brighton finish 4.
That's interesting. Both of you are like really confident on the top 3. I mean, Connor's swapped Liverpool and Arsenal around, but yeah, JD, talk to me. Any differences?
City obviously gonna get it. I reckon it's another record-breaking season for them. And then Arsenal, and then I think United miss out. Brighton will be close, but I don't think they'll quite get there. So I think it's going to be Liverpool and us in the top 4.
Liverpool and Spurs. I'm the only one with United in the top 4. Is that bias?
Because you're a deluded.
No, listen, right. The 2 games that we lost, obviously Arsenal away is the second hardest fixture in the league, in my opinion. United, you could argue Anfield as well. Toss up between them. Wow, we're terrible at Anfield. I'll take that back. 3rd hardest fixture in the league. I don't know, like what happened last season when we started trying to play out the back with De Gea doesn't work. And then this season when we tried to play with Bruno and Mount, don't bring that back. Amrabat's coming in. It will shore us up a little bit. I'm a little bit worried about the injuries. The international break at this point in time is an absolute blessing. Let the people recover. We've lost to Spurs and Arsenal. Like, I'm okay with it. We've looked terrible on the board. Don't get me wrong. That Wolves game has been my worst game of the season, despite losing the other 2. We looked okay against Forest after the 2-0, obviously. But I think it's depth. Pretty much that. Like, Spurs have featured twice and we got Brighton once. I mentioned it at the start of the show. What happens if Basuma gets injured? Who else can fulfill that role at Spurs? I don't think there's anyone. Centre-backs as well. The drop-off between your first and second choice and your third choice is catastrophic. Arsenal, rightly so, by the way. I have no problem with them saying this. It's a valid excuse, but it's still an excuse. A lot of Arsenal fans reckon they would have won the league last year if Saliba didn't get injured, and they went to their 3rd centre-back. We're on our 5th and 6th against Arsenal, so I don't want to put too much weight in our situation at the moment. Purely on depth alone, I think we'll sneak in 4th. I do have Liverpool 3rd, though.
I think that's why Chelsea have got a bit of a chance, because our squad is so deep. Like, obviously, but then your best players get injured. There's nothing you can do about it. Like, they're not replaceable. Hence why when Arsenal fans say Saliba got injured, he's their best centre half. So therefore, you can't replace him. It doesn't matter how good your second choice is or your third choice is. You're not going to replace him.
No.
So I guess time will tell, but I have to wait and see.
I think Spurs also they've resolved that centre forward issue just by moving Son inside as well. He looked very good there. I mean, if you get Son, the big thing about Ange, right, is he obviously likes his wide players really wide, and you're not getting Son close enough to goal. But his main attribute is how good and how lethal he is at finishing. He's not your traditional number 9, but if you can get him time and space, Maddison will, Kulusevski will, they will find him. He's going to score goals. It has happened, and it does happen. Liverpool done it, I think, when they won the league, where they basically ran through the season with like 13, 14 players, just constant rotation. City did it last season. Their squad was so thin, underrated, ran through, no injuries, and obviously they win the league easy. And if Spurs do that, they got a massive, massive, massive shout. I'm just going to side on the edge of caution. You expect an injury or two. So on depth alone, that's well gone, United. Relegation, boys. Let's go opposite order. Curtis first.
I think.
Wait, that's the same order. Go on.
Yeah. Just keep it the same. You know? I think straight up 3 that are going down: Luton bottom, Sheffield United second bottom, Everton third bottom.
Okay.
See you later, the Soffies. Pack your bags. You're off to the champ.
Are you that? Because there's a lot of people that are quietly confident about Burnley. Why?
I think Burnley have merited the "they're going to stay up" quote because of company. I assume. I think that's where it comes from. I think he's obviously done a very good job with them last year. I mean, I don't. Maybe it's not a foregone conclusion that they will stay up. I just think he's a good enough manager to keep them up. And I think I haven't seen loads of them this year, but the bits I've seen that they're trying to play the right football. They seem to be playing some good football. I know the results haven't been great so far. They've had a couple of tough games. I think Burnley will stay up. I think Everton are in more trouble than Burnley for sure.
Okay, I hear you, Mr. Shahal. Have you got Burnley staying up as well?
No, I don't. I had Sheffield United last. I think they just don't seem good enough. Literally, that's it. They just don't seem good enough. It's not their fault. They're just a championship squad. Then 19th, I had Everton, and then 18th had Burnley. I think Luton proved.
Luton stay up.
I think Luton against West Ham, they kind of showed. West Ham, by the way, looked like they could be back to what they were 2 years ago. So that's a very tough fixture, first of all. But Luton should have had a clear penalty right at the end. I think their football that they play at home compared to the football that Burnley are trying to play, it's more attractive, but there's a certain style of football that keeps clubs up, and there's a certain style of football that doesn't keep clubs up. If you look a few years ago when Fulham came up under Scott Parker, they were trying to ping it around and play some nice football, shoot themselves in the foot, go down. It's happened before in the past. Whereas if you look at Brentford, that style of football when you first come up, that's what keeps clubs in the division. Palace, when they first came up years ago now, played that style of football and they stayed up. I think Luton play the style more stylistic to a team that'll stay up rather than Burnley probably won't. And I don't think Vincent Kompany, just because he's Vincent Kompany, will be good enough just to be able to keep this team up. And Everton, I think Everton they just look awful, man. They just look really, really bad. But the other 2 teams that I'd have like in the dogfight would be Luton and Wolves. But
I think Wolves. I didn't mention Wolves. I think Wolves are in trouble as well.
Yeah, so them 5, but those 3 to go down.
As long as you picked your 3, we're running with the 3. I've got no problem with you mentioning the others that are down there as well. I just need a solid 3. We're not sitting on the fence today. Yeah. JD, don't sit on the fence. Tell me who's going down.
All right. So, Luton are going down.
Yeah.
Easy. Everton and I think Wolves.
Yeah.
So you think Luton rock bottom?
Yeah, and then Everton and then Wolves.
I'm going to ask you the same question. Why are Burnley staying up?
But I feel like it's just a case of they're just the better losers. Like they'll still be awful, but they won't be as awful as the.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're going to play attractive football, but go down. If you know.
Where's this Dan? Where's this agenda against Burnley come from? Anyway, what's this?
I'm getting there.
Dan's got Burnley rock bottom.
The manager, that's why.
He's got them rock bottom.
I'm getting there. No, I don't have them rock bottom. I have Luton rock bottom. Kind of touched upon like getting results at home, and I hear it. I do. I think it's not going to be a nice place to go, but I think it's going to be a place where everybody's just going to expect to pick up 3 points. It literally is just a lack of quality. I don't know where their goals come from is the biggest concern. And in the Premier League, you got to have an idea of how to win games. And Luton's is going to be sitting in, hitting you, not pretty, and then picking up points that way. But I just don't think there's enough of that to guarantee the points. I can't see them picking up enough to get themselves off bottom of the table. The other team I've got going down in 19th is Burnley, of course. Championship sides that dominate the championship and come up and play expansive football. The problem with possession football, high pressing football, people are going to acknowledge it. They're going to be, they're so good to watch. It's really good. It's nice that they're playing the right way. It's a good advert for the Premier League. They're not afraid. They get in your face. They put the ball down. They try to knock it about. The big teams struggle to break teams down at the best of times. You've got to think of teams like West Ham who are happy to sit in against Man City, and they do it every week. They are not going to be worried about sitting in against Burnley. And there's so many of them as well. I'm going to liken it to Leeds United as well. They try to do the same. They try to be this modern day passing, but there's a time and a place for it. I think you need the quality to be able to effectively do it in the Premier League. I think probably 20 games into the season, companies are going to go, we might have to change this up, boys, otherwise we're going down. And I'm not sure that he will. So I got Burnley going down, and Wolves are my last team to go down. The only reason why I got Everton staying up is just Beto's a monster, man. He's gonna drag them up. And Danjuma, there's goals in there. The centre midfield's good as well. I think their back four is what lets them down, and structurally they don't look that good. But Sean Dyche should get it right enough times to be able to keep them up, I think. So yeah, they're my three.
Yeah, you got Sheffield United staying up.
Yeah, only because I just think they've got an idea how to get through games. They look when they play, there's a thought behind what they're doing. And like I said about Luton, you need an idea of how we're going to get out of this. I think there's enough goals with Archer as well in that Sheffield United team. And I think structurally they're very, very disciplined. It ain't going to be going away to Luton isn't going to be fun, but you'd expect to win. I think going to Bramall Lane is going to be worth.
Fair enough.
But
Golden Boot time. Producers, who is next?
who is next? You've got 3 to beat, so you've got a low score to beat.
Oh,
Three
that's
to
me.
beat.
JD.
Oh,
You should pick up these 3 points in the question where you get to get 5. But
Well, you said that about me as well, Dan. How did that go? Right?
Avid
you
jump.
crumbled under the pressure. You
Mate,
forgot
my
about
head went.
Rudiger, man.
My head went.
Let me know when you want to click go.
I need to get the questions up. I should have listed these questions with. I just
Ollie,
put
if you
Connor.
click this, I'm going to drop kick you.
Yeah, well, if you get less than 3 and you come last, there's a serious forfeit. So
Yeah, it's just Ollie, my editor's in here, and I know he's going to violate me.
is he? Love that.
Okay, so Connor, you can count us in whenever you're ready, mate. The questions are ready.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Who is the second highest capped England Spurs player?
Second highest capped England's. Oh, I'm taking too much time. Pass. I'll come back to that one.
Who play their home games at the MKM Stadium?
MK Dons.
No, Hull City. Name 5 Spurs number 3s.
Danny Rose.
Yep.
Was it a Suakoto one? I don't think so.
No.
Regulon.
Yep.
Bale.
Yep, that's 3. We can pass and come back if you wish.
Pass. Yeah, pass.
Which game in the Premier League this weekend had the fastest goal scored?
Burnley, Tottenham.
I knew you was going to say that because you're a Spurs fan. No, it was Liverpool. So I was right. Which player last season made 15 appearances, working under 3 different managers, scoring a goal and being sent off, yet he didn't start a game?
What?
There's a reason I chose this question. Pass. Who is the second highest capped England Spurs player?
Gary Lineker.
Correct.
Oh, fuck off.
Name 5 Spurs number 3s.
So I've got Bale. I've got Regulon.
You got
I've
Danny
got
Rose.
Danny Rose.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Which player made 15 appearances last season, working under 3 different managers, scoring a goal and being sent off, yet he didn't start a single game?
15 games.
There's no clues though, right?
The clue is the questions for you.
Oh,
That's a big clue.
5 seconds.
I'm going to go N'Golo Kante. I don't know.
No,
Yeah, done. Time up.
it was a Spurs player. It was Lucas Moura. I thought just because of the three managers and he didn't start.
We had 3 managers as well.
Yeah.
I knew more Spurs number 3s than Chelsea number 2s.
Who were the other two?
Oh, you got loads, mate. I don't know. Chris Hughton did it, and then Tarako did. Stephen Kelly. There's a few on there, but yeah, I knew you would get. I thought you would get the first 3 anyway. I was just wondering that.
I'm just surprised it took me so long.
How far the knowledge went back.
But
yeah, let me count
the
out.
Man United number questions coming. I'm shit at number. Like, no.
Yeah, you got a Man United number. Obviously, you have. Yeah, so you got. I mean, Gary Lineker and then the 3 Spurs players. But yeah, I knew you was going to say Foster. That's kind of why I chose it for you, if I'm honest. Because, by the way, Foster scored in the 4th minute and Szoboszlai scored in the 3rd, so you weren't far off.
Oh, I see. Bamboo.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, 4 out of 9 is fine. Curtis is on 3, so there you
Brilliant. I also like the MKM. That was a trick question. I loved it. I'm here for that, mate.
MKM.
I'd have said the same thing.
I can't give you the clue at the but there's I mean, all 3 of you have got a similar question, obviously, but there's a reason for the 3 questions. I was just wondering if any of you picked it up, which is why Curtis was a little bit of a disadvantage, but you got it right anyway.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
You got it right anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, whatever.
Next topic, please, producers. It's going to be in the daily topics at this stage, so I'm not sure which of the 3 is going to come up first. Who should sign Evan Ferguson next summer? Is everyone just going to say their own club?
Yeah.
No.
Right, I'm going to change the question slightly, and just say, what club would suit Evan Ferguson best? I would go to Connor, as in Connor, not JD.
Well, I mean, I think he would still suit United. I don't know, man. We need a goal scorer. Depends on how well Haaland does, but Evan Ferguson is one of those. I think he's one of those young talents you can't really wait around for. He'll end up going to Chelsea probably because that's where they all go. But
I don't want him. I'll come on to that in a minute. You carry on.
I hate to say it. I think he'd fit in at Liverpool. I feel like they don't really have that guy. I know Salah bags goals for fun, but an out-and-out striker. He's good at link-up play, the way Liverpool want to play. He can run. He can do everything. I think he to be honest, I think he would suit Liverpool the most, but I think he should sign for United because I think he'll be that good that it'll be like everybody wants him for themselves. But who would he suit the most? I think he'd suit Liverpool the most. Even Tottenham to an extent. He's tall, like Harry Kane was tall, but nah.
Harry's tall. He's tall. Evan's tall.
You know what's funny about Evan Ferguson?
A match made in heaven.
All these Sport Bible posts today saying like, "Oh, he's injured for this international break, so he can't play. So he can still technically play for England because he's still not played 3 games before his 21st birthday."
Yeah, I see that.
The bloke's Irish. He's going to play for Ireland. Just give it a rest. But nah, you know what? I'll go with he'll suit Liverpool the most, but he's going to come to United.
Go on, Curtis. You've been itching.
I never want to deal with Brighton Football Club. All right, so I don't want him. I don't give a fuck how good he is. I don't care how young he is. I don't care how tall he is. I don't care how fucking Irish he is. I don't want him. If it involves us entering negotiation with those seagull shaggy men, I don't want it. All right, I don't want it. He's going to go to Spurs because he's a replacement for Kane. Richarlison shite. Rant over. Move on.
Is it? I'm going to come to you after this. JD, Connor, whatever. I'll come to you after this because, and I don't mean this disrespectfully to Spurs in any way, but when there's a forward this hot on the market, this young, with all the eyes on him, do Spurs get him?
Yeah, probably not.
JD?
No, because of who our owner is. He'll just piss about and not give them the money they want. Argument's sake, if they want 50 million for him, we'll go Brighton 5-6 times. No, 40. You'll take 40. No, 40 is what we're going to give you. And then he'll just go, oh, you know what, I don't want to go there. And then Todd Bowley would chuck 210 million at him, and he'll go there.
You're probably not wrong. You're probably not wrong. I don't think he necessarily will go to Spurs. I think he's a replacement for Kane that they would have and that would suit Spurs. I think realistically, I think like Connor said, Liverpool are an option now. I know they've got Darwin, but I think he's an option.
All right, Darwin.
Okay.
Maybe Arsenal.
I think I've nailed it. You can tell me I'm wrong afterwards. You probably will, but I feel like I'm right at this stage. Man United don't sign Højlund and then Evan Ferguson. Age and profiles are probably too similar, so I don't see that happening. I also think priorities are going to lie elsewhere, considering the age profile with the rest of the squad. I do think we'll pick up a forward. I do not think it will be Ferguson. Manchester City are not going to pick him up. They've got Alvarez and Haaland. That goes without saying. Liverpool won't pick him up just because the how many options they've got to play centre forward is nuts. Gakpo plays there, Nunes plays there, and Jota plays there as well. So he ain't going there. Chelsea, I think Chelsea probably do pick up Tony in January, so I don't think he goes there. Callum Wilson, your time is numbered, my friend. I think Evan Ferguson makes a hell of a lot of sense for Newcastle Football Club, especially going into next season.
What about Isaac?
Plays left wing, bro.
Does he there?
He's good there, man. That's where all the Thierry Henry shouts came about last season. I think, Isaac left wing, Evan Ferguson down the middle. I think it just makes too much sense.
It's a good shout. It does make sense.
Yeah, Thierry Henry, that winger in denial. I remember him.
Yeah, that guy.
Now, Newcastle's a good shout, to be fair.
Next topic, please, producer.
Next topic, please.
Man United, not for
Aye.
sale.
Hey, I don't know anything about this. I'm just
This is all done. This is all done.
Dan, I'm telling you now, United are not getting sold because those Glazers are a greedy bunch of bastards.
Okay, I'm going to come to Curtis and JD first. Just very, very quick. It's not going to be a question on the sale of the club, but just as rival fans, are you of the opinion that we should just stop moaning because the Glazers sell money, or do you understand? Curtis.
I mean, I understand a little bit. I understand the fact that they don't put any money in, they take dividends out. I get that. I don't know as deep as you guys know, because again, I don't look into Man United's finances as deep as you do, Dan. You're a finance nerd, so that's all.
Cheers,
that's all you. I've got other mates who are United fans, and they've explained it a bit more to me. And generally, the way that the club is run doesn't seem right in terms of a football. They obviously run it as a business. But I just don't. I think they're going to price everyone out of it because they're just greedy. And from what I read this week, it might not be true or not, but I've read that they now want offers of upwards of 10 billion, which is bonkers. I just don't think they're going to sell it. I think it's going to roll on for a couple more years now, and then eventually it might change. But right now, I don't think it's going to get sold.
JD.
I'm not all for free promo, but I think everyone knows about Mark Goldbridge. Everyone familiar with him?
Yeah.
So there was clips that I saw on TikTok of when obviously you lost to Arsenal, and as Jesus scored the third goal, he got up and started blaming the owners. And I feel like it's just a scapegoat argument of like an excuse for. I'm not saying all United fans do it, because I know some United fans who are actually humble and know what they're on about. But I feel like it's not even a major issue anymore. It's just some United fans are just being greedy.
I think that's quite a popular opinion online. I do. I think that's how the majority of people see it. So I'm glad you said it. I'll touch upon it, and then after I've mentioned my bits, then I'm going to re-ask you again, and then see if you share the same opinion. Connor,
Yeah, I mean,
are you fed up with this as much as I am? Because with the sale, we're not for sale.
bro.
This guy, they're going to buy it. They're going to buy it. Like it's boring at this point. Anytime a little bit of PR comes out, I just decide to ignore it, just because you don't know what the truth is. Them saying they're not going to sell could literally be a sales tactic. As bland as that sounds, it could be, oh, we're not selling, we're pulling out, and then hopefully they're going to get a little bit of a bite of the little fish that they're dangling out. But what are your thoughts?
Nah, I mean, I'll keep it short because I know you are very much more informed on this subject than I am. But I just think they're a bunch of clowns, man. I'm going to be completely honest. But it's one of those. I think they like the fact that their club sometimes turns into a circus. I think they feed off that. More eyes on them. They just love it. I think they're just sickos, man. And I think what the other Connor said is right. I think in the back of every player's minds when we're losing 2-0 at home to Forest and the fans say, stand up if you want the Glazers out. Players are like, oh, it's not my fault then. That makes it even worse, man. I just think everything. They just need to piss off, man. They just need to go. But I'll let you carry on.
Okay, I'm going to try something. It's probably going to go horrendously, but bear with. This is, yeah, I hate them. I got numbers and stuff, so I'm gonna bore you for a little second. Hopefully not. But obviously, Man United were a club that was bought on debt. Like, we basically paid for the right to have the Glazers upstairs. £400 million, I think they bought the club for. That money went straight back onto the club, so they basically bought it for free. The club's latest financial figures show that Man United owe 969 million, which is basically £1 billion in debt. Bearing in mind that we were never in debt before the Glazers actually took over. Lenders have put out a release form of the Glazers on how much they've paid in interest, as in not dividends, paid in interest whilst the Glazers have been at the club. That's 917 million. So just for the honour, for the privilege of having the Glazers run our football club, we've paid £2 billion without the football pitch seeing it. Shareholders themselves have taken out £167 million in dividends. So we're above our £2 billion mark right now. And again, we still have not touched the football club. So that, amongst like the undermining the managers, because it isn't all financial, they're undermining the managers. You see the likes of Louis van Gaal, Mourinho, they were very vocal about how much of a circus that Manchester United Football Club is. And we get stories later on when managers have released with Moyes really wanting and pushing for like Toni Kroos and Cesc Fabregas, but ending up with Fellaini. I think that just sums up Manchester United's transfer strategy for the last 10 years. Both Pogba and Ronaldo, when they returned, they were staggered at the lack of development at the club. Zlatan, that famous quote from Zlatan where he says, Man United are only one of the biggest and best clubs outside of the closed doors, meaning everything inside is actually a bit of a joke. They haven't redeveloped or touched the club since 2005. This includes the stadium falling apart, the training ground and facilities. They were once state of the art in 2005. Hasn't been touched. The inability to negotiate for players, always overpaying. The inability to sell players. Pogba left on the free. Mata and Matic, yes, they were a little bit older, but poor planning led up to that. Both left on the free. Obviously, David De Gea has only recently left on the free. I've watched this season Manchester City lose Mahrez and Gundogan, and they've already been replaced. We replaced Michael Carrick this summer with Amrabat. That is Manchester United in a nutshell. And I hear the point that this is the Glazers' business. They can do whatever they want with their business. But we as fans, we can also have our own opinion. We don't like it run like a business. We don't like the cash cow approach that the Glazers do. And that's why we want to get rid of them.
Bosh, mic drop.
Very good.
I'm knackered.
That made me hate them. that made me hate them more, man.
Yeah.
Was that a script or was that off the dome?
I kind of knew it anyway. I scripted it just so I didn't miss anything. I put notes up. Yeah.
Nice.
Have you changed your mind yet, JD? Or are you?
Hey, you do your club, do your club.
Cry more.
You do you, boo.
You do you, boo. My owner is just the same, mate. We're $1 billion in debt. We're still paying off a stadium that's not even ours. If you go onto our website, it literally says Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, where NFL concerts and Tottenham Hotspur Football Club play. So we're third in the three things that we are there for. So we don't even own the stadium.
It's
like
mad.
the NFL pitch was built above the football pitch. Sorry, the soccer pitch. So it has to go the other way. So it's NFL first, football second.
It's mad because you see people that invest or owners that invest into football clubs. Abramovich is a great example. He came in and he was just paying for everything left, right, and centre of what seemingly looked like without a care in the world. Now, if the situation that arose didn't arise, he would have left by selling Chelsea Football Club for the value that it went for in profit. So you can not take dividends out. You can not chuck your club in debt. You can run it like a football club, progressive, buy players, facilities upgraded, and still make a profit. It's win-win for everyone, but our lot just refuse. So the
difference is that Roman genuinely loves Chelsea, and I don't think we'll ever get an owner like that again. Don't get wrong. I love what Bowley's doing and the dedication to replacing the squad, and I love that. But Roman literally loved Chelsea, and he loved even when he had to sell it because of the sanctions and all that, he made sure that it was sold on a contract where there was X amount invested in the squad. They had to have it for the next 10 years. You can't just come in, spend some money, make some money. He loved Chelsea, and I don't think there's many owners around like him. To be fair.
Yeah, no, I know this is I mean, it's great to have those owners, and I feel like that's what should be more involved in football because, I mean, it just adds to the passion. It adds to why we all love football in the first place. And it's not like you're just spending money for the sake of it. There's this idea that it's their business. If they just keep chucking money at it, you might end up in a place where, like, the owner goes bankrupt, for example. But it doesn't. If it's ran properly, you can spend money and make money, which is why the Glazers have no excuse for doing what they're doing, in my opinion.
Yeah, valid.
Next topic, please.
Producer.
I mean, Roman was corrupt as fuck, but we don't talk about that.
Yeah, I wasn't going to. The Roy Keane incident. How many of you see it?
Roy
Did you see
Keane.
it?
Yes, up the fucking Roy Keane.
Connor, this is your bag. Have you actually seen it?
I've seen. So the guy that recorded it, all I see, it's like a 2-second video of Miko Richards pinning some guy up against the wall.
Yeah.
But apparently, I haven't seen a video of what the guy done to him. But apparently, he headbutted him. Is that true?
I think it was like an attempted, like he went to headbutt him, or like there was a aggressive approach from the guy. The only thing that I loved is like we've seen this bromance just appear on screen of Mika Richards and Roy Keane. They bounce off each other really well. I like the clip. I just laughed. I thought they're boys. That's kind of all of my input on it. I mean, you get incidences of media people doing something in public, and then Jamie Carragher in the car, for example.
Yeah.
It's nothing like that at all. Everyone backs it, so I think it's fine. Guys,
does anyone know why he done it? The guy
no.
All I heard was the guy. It was at the Emirates, and the guy wasn't a big fan of Roy Keane. They got into a little bit of a heated debate. I haven't seen a clip, but this is what I've read. And they were lit like face to face, a little bit of like shovey, and the guy like leant in, not to properly like headbutt him, but to kind of like push him away with his head. And then as he did that, Mika comes in, fucking picks the kid up and was like, I wouldn't do that if I were you.
He's not little Meeks anymore, he's big Meeks.
Exactly. The guy's arms are massive. If you're going to start a fight with two pundits, why are you picking on Mika Richards and Roy Keane?
Of all the people, like, Roy Keane.
Of all the people. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, it's quite funny, isn't it? I think it's a lot made out of nothing, but it's quite funny.
Before we move on to the last Golden Boot, anyone want to jump in with anything, or are you happy to move on?
Fine, man.
Golden Boot it is. I wonder who's next.
Oh, it's me again. Oh no.
Anybody else can do the timer for Connor would be great.
I'm telling you, I'm getting 0 on the
Just count it in at any point. Again, similar set of questions, Connor. You can pass. If you get it wrong, then I'll move on to the next one.
I'm going to get 0 on the number.
3 to beat. Is it 3 to beat?
4 to beat. We've got a 4 and a 3, but there's 9 to get.
All
right. Here you go, my friend. 3, 2, 1.
Who was the highest capped Irish Man United player?
Oh man, he got banned from the World Cup. I'll pass. I'll come back because I think I've got an idea.
Who play their home games at Deepdale?
Preston.
They do indeed. They were all championship teams, by the way. Name 5 Man United number 5s.
Number 5. I knew you were going to say number 5. Maguire.
Yep.
Number 5. De Silvestre number 5?
Nope.
That's grand.
Number
1. I'll come back to the number 1. I'll come back.
Okay. Which game in the Premier League this weekend was the lowest scoring?
That's so peak. They're 5-1, 4-2s. West Ham Luton was only 2-1. Forest Chelsea was 1-0.
Correct.
Yeah.
Who was the only player to be sent off in the league twice last season?
I feel like you've asked me because it's a United player, but I can't remember if it was a United player.
Oh, you've noticed the theme.
Come on, bro. It's so obvious, bro. Yeah.
It was last season when we lost 4-1. No, that wasn't Watford in the Championship. What was the first question again? Most capped Irish United player?
Yes.
All right. It's not Roy Keane. It's definitely not Roy Keane. It can't be Roy Keane. It might be Roy Keane.
He's got 118 caps for them. Like he plays all the time. Played all the time.
Fucking hell. All right.
Tired.
How long have I got? 20 seconds. All right.
Come on, you got this, Connor.
No, I actually don't have the United Irish one, and he's gonna
give me the number 5s. Give me the number 5s. You gave me Maguire.
Right, what was it? Maguire number 5. So I just shout no random names like Vidic. What number did Vidic wear? Wes Brown, Rio.
Yep.
5 seconds.
Oh Jesus! I'll guess Roy Keane for the first one, and I'll guess Maguire for the last one. I ain't got a clue about the last one.
Okay, cool. Let me do it. So you got Maguire,
Maguire, Rio, Deepdale, and Forest, Chelsea. I don't think I got any of those.
And Forest, Chelsea. Oh,
Was it? Can I have a guess? Was it
was
John O'Shea?
yeah.
And was it
And it was
Casemiro?
Casemiro.
Oh my god!
If only you had the United questions, Curtis.
If I'd had your questions, I'd have done way
I was
better.
at both the games.
Can any of you
Brother,
can any of you
Casemiro,
name the
come on,
rest
bro.
of the number fives, or give me a couple?
Who did you say? Maguire, Ferdinand.
Maguire,
Steve
Ferdinand,
Bruce didn't wear number 5, did he?
Steve Bruce did wear number 5, yeah.
Phil Jones.
Oh, Phil
All I had
Jones.
to do was say Steve
No, not
Bruce
Phil
when I
Jones,
really
no.
won.
Phil Jones didn't have
Ah.
it. Oh.
Marcus Rojo, Laurent Blanc, Ronnie Johnson, Nicky
Marcus.
Buck,
Oh,
Kanchelskis, Roy Keane wore it at one point, Lee Sharp, Darren Ferguson, Gary Pallister, Steve Bruce.
A lot of fives.
Mm.
Who won?
Well, we've
There's
got a tie,
isn't
and lucky for you guys, I'm not prepared and I haven't got a tiebreaker, but I will get one before the end.
Ah.
We do the tiebreaker now. We do but it's going to be fastest on the trigger, okay?
All
I
right,
think
first-
we should do
wait,
tiebreakers who won out of United and Tottenham this season.
No, I've actually
Did you
Oh,
shout
right.
the answer out?
I've got a really good one, okay? I have got one.
So we shout the answer out if we know it.
No, you say your name. They've got the same name. Fuck.
Buzz.
The first one to say Connor.
All right.
Oh,
We can go with that, right? Hold on.
yeah, we can do
Okay,
that.
cool. I'm going to get the question up on my phone, so give me 2 seconds. But I know what the question is. I just need to get the answers.
So if he's first and he gets it wrong, does it go to me?
No, because there's going to be more than one answer, but the one who gets the furthest back answer, as in the earliest, is going to be the winner.
Oh,
So what I want to know is, tell me the 2 finalists in the World Cup that are the furthest back. So if you did Argentina, France, there's a chance you're not going to win. But
Connor,
you can go on then.
1930 first World Cup, Uruguay 4, Argentina 2.
You're fucked, brother.
Connor, do you want to try beat that or?
No, because it is that. I was thinking,
Dan, you
I had
know
Uruguay
Connor's strengths
as
are
the other
that.
team.
No, I had it down anyway as like a little thing for late. It was
Fair.
more to do with the tennis, but I did have the question down. So yeah, there you go. Connor wins. There you go.
Yes.
Yeah, we both win.
Boo.
I should have known who was in the room. I didn't even clock Connor in his like.
Connor's dates are a joke.
Oh, yeah,
It was a little bit unfair, but I mean, it's just by luck, isn't it? If the question was on Spurs, it would also be unfair. The first World Cup ever.
Martial played in this one. It was the worst one.
Okay, football tennis time. So I'm just gonna introduce the rules. So basically, there's going to be a question at the start with more than one answer. It's basically going to be a semi-final and then a final. You've probably guessed that the semi-final is going to be all 3 of you. The idea is just to give me one answer and it'll move on to the next one. Eventually, someone will not know an answer and they'll be the first to be eliminated. Does that make any sense? Have we got any questions, gentlemen?
Can I have some leeway?
Let's do it. I need to engage brain.
What order? Sorry.
I'll decide when I ask the question.
Okay, sounds sound.
I suppose whoever gets asked first is going to have a little bit of an advantage, but the game is the game. I'm going to go Connor, Curtis, Connor. So we'll start with JD and then go around.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so the question is, you have to get it within the top 30, okay? Within the top 30, name the most expensive transfers of all time. Now, here's the bit, okay? Here's the bit. I need you to tell me from what club to what club, because players are on this list more than once, so I need to have 30 answers.
You don't have to say price, no?
I'm fucked.
Same price? No. Don't worry about the price.
Don't say the price. All right.
Yeah, okay. So,
top 30 of all time.
30 highest transfers of all time, and then from what club to what club we're going to go around. It isn't time limited, but if you're taking, I'm going to just move on, okay?
Yeah.
I'm fucked.
Okay, so JD. Okay, in 3, 2. Oh, by the way, I'm going to clarify this was a yep, and then it goes Curtis, and then the other Connor, and then we're going to go back around. I ain't going to direct it the whole time. I'm just going to say yep, and then I'll break it when someone gets it wrong.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
3, 2, 1, go.
Declan Rice, Arsenal.
Yep.
Caicedo to Chelsea.
Neymar to PSG.
Yep.
Enzo Fernandez, Chelsea.
Yep.
Pogba to United.
Yep.
Coutinho to Barca.
Yep.
Ronaldo to Juventus.
Yep.
Mbappe to PSG.
Yes.
Bale to Real Madrid.
Yep.
Anthony to Man United.
Yes. Number 18 on the list.
Is that 18? Is it? I don't know what the actual fee is. I'm going to say Mudryk, but I don't know the actual fee to Chelsea.
Ooh.
I've got the list here. You better if it comes up. No, he's not on the list.
Yes.
I'll take
There
it.
you go. There
Wait,
you go.
is that round done?
There you go. Burning.
Can I do another one?
I was gonna say Ronaldo to Madrid, which is obviously
yeah,
an obvious
Ronaldo to
one.
Madrid.
I had Maguire lined up. That was
I just went rogue. Could have said Fofana to Chelsea.
It's
as well.
Kepa to Chelsea.
Fofana to Chelsea is 29. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Kepa would have gone there. I think.
Kepa was not.
No.
Oh, thank God.
He's like 75, I think.
I just had Maguire lined up. Then I was.
Yeah. Can you get the answers on the screen by any chance, Dave?
Oh hello.
Oh wow. That was quick.
Look at it.
Sancho.
Obviously Kane to Bayern. Duh.
Higuain. That was
I've got to
Higuain.
think about that one.
And the top
I
behind
mean,
as well.
Lukaku, you can have about 3 stabs at the cherry there, right?
Yeah, Lukaku was one I hinted at when I said some players have moved more than once. But
Yeah, Lukaku's a good shout.
Grealish. Oh yeah.
Oh, Bale, Hazard to Madrid, obviously, and Jude.
yeah, João Felix up there, number 3.
I thought Griezmann was alone.
For what? Oh no, not that one.
Oh, sound. Does that mean me and Connor in the final again?
Yeah, it's
No,
the
I just
Connor
said-
final. Brilliant, Curtis. Cheers.
Yeah, you're welcome, mate.
Okay, cool. Let me get the questions up.
We're doing same order.
No, we'll swap the order just to make it fair.
Yes.
As if the real Ronaldo was 19.
Okay, this one I'm going to give you a tiny little bit more time when we get closer to the end. But the question is, and it's going to be exactly the same again. I say, yeah, I'm going to give you where they are on the list just to help you out a tiny bit for this one. But is the all-time Premier League top scorers, but only the Spanish players.
What?
Huh?
Only the Spanish. Only the
That's a
Spanish
curve,
players. All-time Premier League top scorers, but only if
Wait,
they're
is it like-
Spanish.
How many? How far are you going down?
Top 30, sorry, yes, top 30.
I couldn't even name 30
Okay.
Spanish players that are in Premier League.
Mate,
I promise you, there's some very obvious ones on here. You're gonna get to 10, 15. Like,
Oh,
it'll be
if they're
fine.
just Spanish, someone's going to have like 15 goals and be on the list, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, don't overthink how many goals they scored. That's a little bit of a hint. But Connor, if you could start in 3, 2, 1.
This might go wrong straight away, but I'm gonna go with David Silva.
David Silva, number 2.
Cesc Fabregas.
Number 5.
Diego Costa.
Number 3.
I can't name Spanish players.
Number 1 is
Michu.
so obvious. Michu is on there. Yeah, number 13.
That's a good one.
Great.
Juan
shout.
Mata.
Juan Mata is on there. Yeah, number 4.
Surely number 1 is obvious.
Yeah.
And I think.
Is it?
Okay, I've got
Yeah.
one. I need to think of more. Just
There's a few Spurs players on here as well, just to rub it in. Come on, Connor.
is it Mike? Oh wait, yeah.
No. The other,
I don't know Spanish players.
you definitely know the ones on here.
Yeah.
No.
I expected this to go on for ages. I was a bit worried when I got it. I thought, is 30 going to be enough?
It is a quite. It's a tough one.
Xabi Alonso.
Xabi Alonso, he is number 21.
Fernando Torres.
Number 1. Thank you for getting me.
That's the
Oh
one.
my God.
That's the one.
Jesus.
Oh man.
Oh,
Surely
Hernandez, the one that plays for Leeds.
surely not.
No, he's not on there.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm going to go through the list. Well, actually, we can bring it up on the screen. It's a lot easier to bring it up on the screen.
I'd have said Santi Cazorla.
Yeah,
That's one.
Santi Cazorla.
Oh my God.
And Pedro.
Mikel Arteta, Pedro, Rodrigo, Marcus Alonso, obviously, Santi Cazorla, obviously,
Marcus Alonso.
Luis Garcia, Llorente. I wonder who he played for.
Negredo.
One else, Rodri,
Oh
of
my
course. Rodri.
Oh no.
Hector
Rodri been
Bellerin.
on.
Morata,
Bellerin's on
Reyes,
the-
Xabi Alonso's there, Jordi
Aston
Gomez,
Villa.
Obviously, he was
Ander
there.
Herrera, Cesbal Azpilicueta.
I've had an
Morata.
absolute stinker.
Even Ferran Torres snuck in there. You basically just needed to name a Spanish player in the round.
Any Spanish midfielder or even the odd defender.
Marcos Alonso.
Aspilicueta was on there.
But there you go.
We will take the victory in that.
Oh no, but there you go. There's a double win for Connor.
I can't believe
Double
you've
dub.
done this.
Back to back.
There you go. Well done, Connor. Congratulations.
Thanks. Thank you very much.
Okay, cool. Well, I expected you to get the Spurs one so bad, Connor. I was just when it came up and like you were in the final, I thought you'll get a couple of the Spurs ones, but there we go. Anyway, gentlemen, thanks for joining me. That is the end of the show. Connor, if you so wish, you can sign us out for winning, well, not only one, but both quizzes.
Yeah, sure. We will go with. I would tell people to follow my TikTok, but at the minute, I can't post because every time I post, it just says 0 views and it doesn't show up on other people's accounts. So that's really, really good. So,
Up the TikTok.
so instead, we will all go around and say which random European country is going to qualify for the Euros, and I will start with Kazakhstan.
Oh.
How do you got Kazakh?
Just
Oh.
any smaller nation, but like they could have qualified before.
I'll go LiveDuel relevant up the San Marino.
Come on,
San Marino.
Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Oh,
Give me
okay.
Luxembourg just because I like the country.
Luxembourg. Right, and that was me. That was
Up the San Marino.
Right, cheers, boys. John, well, there's probably going to be a couple of shows coming up just randomly in the week if there's anything to react to. Other than that, we will see you all again next Tuesday. Cheers for joining.